Hi everyone, it's Coach Fred here, and I'm going over a word problem on vertical motion, ones that relate to quadratic functions. Now we've been investigating these in class. If you're in my class, this is example number 5 from the packet that we've been working on. If you're not in my class, this is just a really good vertical motion problem if you're in an Algebra 1 or 2 class. So the flight path of an object thrown in the air can actually be modeled by a quadratic function, but we call it a model. Why? Well, because there's a formula we have that includes gravitational force. And these are the two models we have. Negative 16 t squared plus v sub 0 t plus h sub 0. This is when we're dealing with something that's in feet per second. Okay. And then h equals negative 4.9 t squared plus v sub 0 t plus h sub 0. This is when it is in meters per second. The model allows you to plug in values for your velocity and your height. So v sub 0, that's how that is read, is just the initial velocity or speed. It's not really speed, but your teachers might call it speed. And then h sub 0 is the initial height. The initial height. Okay, so we talked about the fact that we're not using x and y here, we're using h and t. So we want to make sure we understand that it's a height axis, which is like our y-axis, and the time axis is like our x-axis. So here's an example of a ball that was thrown up in the air. You can see its initial height was here on the y-intercept. This point right here, we go up to our vertex, and then we get down to the ground. This is where the ball would hit the ground. So you're going to really have to just determine what the question is asking. Which part of these, which part is it asking for? So for example, for the vertex, it could be the time or the height. It could say, when will the ball reach its maximum height? Or what is the maximum height? If I was looking here for the x-intercept, it would likely say, when does the ball hit the ground? So that's the vertical motion models we've been discussing in class. I'm going to be going over question number 5 today. So you're trying to dunk a basketball. You need to jump 2.5 feet in the air to dunk the ball. The height that your feet are above the ground is given by the function h of t equals negative 16 t squared plus 12t. Okay, so I already know that my initial velocity is 12 and my initial height is 0. That's because if I'm jumping from the ground. So I always draw a quick sketch of what's happening. It always helps me, and I do actually label time and height. So I'm going to suggest you do that. These can be challenging problems. All right, so I know it's just a quick sketch. I know I'm starting on the ground, I'm going up like this, and I'm going down like this. What is the maximum height your feet will be above the ground? Okay, so maximum tells me vertex, and it says what is the maximum height? So I actually want the y coordinate of the vertex, or the h coordinate of the vertex. So how do we find that? Well, this is a quadratic function in standard form. We find the y coordinate of the vertex by finding the x first. We need the x. So to find the x, we do x equals negative b over 2a. If it's in standard form, in this case, that would mean we are doing t equals negative b over 2a. All right, my a is negative 16 from the equation, and my b is 12. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those in, or substitute those values in. So negative 12 all over 2 times negative 16 gives me negative 12 over negative 32, which gives me 3/8. And 3/8 is 0.375. Okay, so now I know that at 0.375 seconds, I'm at my maximum height. All right, but I need the height. Okay, so that's the h, or the y coordinate. So I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to do h at 0.375 equals. Okay, so negative 16 times 0.375 squared plus 12 times 0.375. Now you could use the fractions, it doesn't matter. I just chose to use the decimals. So 0.375 squared, 0.375 gives me 0.140625 times negative 16 gives me negative 2.25 plus 12 times 0.375 gives me 4.5. I'm going to add those together, and that gives me the height to be, so h of t to be, or h at 0.375 to be 2.25. Okay, so that is my maximum height. That's as high as I can jump. So if I need to jump 2.5 feet in the air to dunk the ball, will I be able to dunk the basketball? No luck. No, I won't be able to. I'm going to have to practice my jumping. All right, have a great day.